Hello, guys. Thanks for joining in. So we are waiting for others to join us. We'll start by 6:10, just 7 minutes more. Thank you. All right. Good evening, guys, and welcome. Can somebody confirm if you can if you can clearly hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
All right. All right. So, good evening, and welcome to yet another fascinating episode of the CXT Community Motion Sessions. My name is Benjamin. Well, feel free to call me BJ. I run BJ Arts as a brand designer, and I also manage this design community. So you already know how we do this, but if you're new here, because I'm seeing some new faces, if you're new here, Motion Sessions is basically an avenue for motion designers in the CXT community to share their knowledge and learn from each other. Today, our guest is a fantastic and highly motivated designer named Daniel, but he's better known as by his professional moniker, Graphics Daniel. You can check him out on Instagram to see the fantastic work he does. He'll be walking us through his logo animation process, and I'm sure it will be an interesting session and there will be a lot to learn. During the course of the session, if you have any question, you can type it in the chat box so that there won't be any distractions, or you can raise your hands and allow the instructor, which is Daniel himself, or I'll be helping him out in that. Allow him to pick you out before so that there won't be so much interruptions and distractions. I'll speak more about this towards the end of the session, but for the sake of those that may not be able to wait till the end, the CXC community is planning a motion design competition that is it's planning a motion design competition that will hold towards the end of the year. The the prize money is huge, and I'll share further details later towards the end of this meeting. Without further ado, let's get started. The stage is yours, Daniel. Teach us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you clearly.
All right. My name is Daniel, which has Daniel, the person behind Graphics Daniel, brand and motion designs, student of CXT Academy. So I'll be walking you through a few of my logo animations, some techniques that could be used in your own personal or paid projects as well. So I think I'll share my screen now. So can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen? You can mute and talk in case you will would like to respond, because I'm not being the meeting interface, so I don't know if anybody is reacting or something.
Oh, yeah, we can see your screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen actually.
All right. So this is an animation I did for it's an audio book brand. Like they transcribe books into audio, so one kind of like listening on the go instead of like reading the book one word at a time. So the idea behind the animation is I just had to create some kind of, first of all, the logo itself has this audio spectrum in between a book frame. So altogether it looks like a book. Then it has an audio spectrum in between that carries the essence of the brand, the audiobook kind of brand. So yeah, for the animation, I thought I could just make the audio come out before the book, the audio essence come out before the book itself. So I decided to animate the logo, then the book frame comes next, then there's a flipping page that happens at the end of that before the text come out. Are we all with me?
Yes, boss.
So, all right. So for the logo animation, for the audio parts, this is the audio part here. It's like a full-blown, it's not divided. The design itself is not divided, but I had to use mask to divide each of them into two parts. That is, one part is up, one part animates up before the other parts come down. Let me unhide the mask for one of them here. Let me take it back a little bit. So this is the first part that comes on first. Then this is the mask there that is hidden. So this is the full length, but I had to mask half of it so that the top part could animate in first before the bottom part comes in. So I use the mask feature here in After Effects. I believe we all know that. So yeah, now, and if you notice clearly, there's like an overshoot that happens when it comes in. Like this first one comes in, there's like an overshoot that happens, like an after reaction that happened here. So it's basically just one click with the motion tools plugin, just the elastic. So I animated the scale itself. This is the scale from animated the y-axis. I broke down the chain between like keeping the aspect ratio. So I just animated the y-axis. Then I selected the keyframe, then click on the elastic itself. So once it hits its target, it goes over and comes back to balance. So that brings the elastic kind of feel that happens here. That's up, down, up, down, up, down. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Is everybody clear?
Yes, yes. Okay, boss.
Yes, boss.
All right. So same thing I applied to the bottom aspect as well. The same type of animation, scale downwards, downwards, then added the elastic expression. So now this part is a simple trim path that I use for the book. Let me look for this. So this is the book here. This is the bottom book frame. I used I drew over the book itself so that I could use the trim path on the path over the book frame itself. I don't know if that is clear. Somebody with me?
Yeah. It's clear. Yeah,
It's clear.
Everybody, is it clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yes, it's clear.
Okay. So a simple, pen tool over this bottom part, then animated the with trim path, then use the mask on the bottom part of the book. Same thing was applied to the top part of the book. So now for these flipping pages, it's literally just scale as well. I set the anchor points. Let me see if I could give one typical example here. Scale. So here, this is it. So I move the anchor point to the bottom part. Let me center it first. So I could just, this motion tool is easy to just, change position of anchor point. So I just set it to the bottom so that when I rotate it rotates from the bottom axis. So I placed all 4 of them here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of the strokes here. Then I just, animated it till it gets to the end of the book. The anchor point is at the center, at the middle here. Then it all flips up to the right. Then I added that book flipping sound effects. Is that understood?
Yes.
Everybody else?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, for
Yes,
then the remaining part is just position, and I just picked one of the text presets on animation composer. Where is that guy? Yeah, just picked one of the text and selected one of the animation text presets here, and I just applied it. So that is how it came about. So are we good on this?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. So that is for one of them. So this is the second one. This one. Yeah. So this is how this one plays out. So it started off with a stroke at the bottom here that falls into the flower. Then it is a beauty store, so I designed the logo as well. So it's all about creating that kind of beauty in the house. As like beauty store where they sell beauty products as well. So the beauty representation has the flower dancing, and the house shape, just beauty house. Then it's a house of beauty. So for the stroke, this is the stroke here. I animated the stroke. Okay, here. Is this clear enough for you? Should I move the background white? So yeah, this is the stroke. You can see the stroke has this kind of wavy effects on it before it falls into the flower. It has this wavy effect, and it was just done by, it's a stroke as well. And this is the stroke here. So under the stroke, there's contents, and there's like stroke under the contents. Where am I safe? Yeah, under the stroke, there's this wave effect. I don't think I added this. I think this is always there on default. It's just the wave that makes it look like that. This is unchecked. Then this is the wave checked. So the wave gives us this kind of wavy line effects, and following that was trim part as well. So the trim part started here and ended here. Then I reversed it. Like I used the starts trim path for starts from here to this point, and when it is reaching this point, I use the end part of the trim part to like swallow it up to look as if it's falling into the flower. So 0 to 100, then 100 to 0. So it forms into the flower like that. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, it's clear.
All right. So now falling into the flower, all this flower is all strokes as well, like all stroke. So I easily just did trim path on each of them as well. They're all stroke. I think this, yeah. So this is one of them, stroke. Yeah. Easily click this contents, add and trim path. Then you could animate the start or end wherever you want it to start and end from. So immediately the stroke was getting into the midpoint, I animated the first flower in, then the rest came out like that, one after the other. So now to this dancing part, I use CC Bandit. Yeah, I don't know if I believe we are familiar with that a little bit. CC Bandit. This is one of the stroke. Then this is CC Bandit here. Then this is the little effect that you can bend it as much as you want it to, but too much bending might distort the flower. So here is it. Here is it. Here is it. Easily go to your effect here, and you can see CC bend it right here under distorts. So let me see if I can redo the bend it. All right, I've put remove the bend it now from me. So this is it. You click on the layer where you want to apply the bend it. Go to effect and presets, CC bend it. Then you drag the bend it right on top of this layer. Then you adjust the start and end points. You can see this small something here. I don't know if you can see it. This small pin here. Then there's another one here. So this length from here to here, this whole frame shows how much of the object you are trying to bend. So what all I had to do was drag it to the top of the object, close to the top and towards the bottom right here. So that when I bend it, it bends that way, that way. You just have to adjust those points to the like very close to the object you are trying to bend so that it captures it and not go beyond that. So I added a little of bend it here, 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 and there. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yes, it's clear.
All right. So same thing I apply to the rest of it that has this bending effect. But also after I added the bend it effect, I added after I keyframed the bend it, like I click on one part, then move ahead, then take it forward a little bit. Yeah, I already adjusted this thing. Hold on a second. So yeah, after I animated this, forward a little bit, then like this. What I went to do next, I added a loop. You can see it's going back and forth. It's just two keyframes involved. The beginning to the right and to the left. So I just added a loop expression on it so that it keeps dancing around until it wipes out back. So I just used from a plugin, I use a loop out effects. Alternatively, you could just click on the bend it effects. Let me go there. This is the bend it effect added here. Alternate click, then easily do loop out. Yeah. So I think that works here. So that's it. Easily do loop out here. So it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until you are done with it. So apply the same to the rest of the flowers that are dancing. Then the housing part of the logo, this is it here, is also trim part that is used here. But this is the full house. Hold on a second. And this is the full house, like the full part of the logo. But I wanted to give it that house effect before it turns into the full part of the logo. So I just added a little bit of offset. Like I used the trim part effect, the end parts, and give it a little bit of length. Then I use the offset to drag it to the point where I want it to look like the house. There's under the trim part, there's an offset where you can use to adjust it to where you want it to look like. So I kept it on the roof of the house, so it gives that house effect before it animates fully into the logo. So that happens. Then the trim part on the other flowers, I took them back in from start to end to start. I took them back in, then the middle of the flower came down, then trim part continues on the remaining part of the logos. Basically trim part, trim part, trim part. It's very helpful when doing logo animation. So is that clear? I'm waiting for a response.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then the text comes in after that. Yeah. So that's that for that. Then what's next? This is one for an app. This Yes, they needed an app intro animation. Like when they open the app, the animation that comes in, right? So they actually sent me a PSD. I didn't design this logo. I don't know how it came about, but I think the infinity shows something relating to the brand. So basically, yeah, I used trim path here as well again. But the logo they sent me is just like a picture, I guess. Yeah, just like a picture, just like this. So I had to take it into Photoshop. Then I had to like separate the um, purple part from the greenish blue kind of thing. So I had to separate them into two so that I could at least do something with it. So the animation started with balls, like circle balls like this from 4 different angles. And as you can see, the colors are changing as it's coming in together. I just like keyframed, let me see if I could click on one of it, one of these balls. Here. So yeah, this is its apply the fill effects. You could easily get that here under effects and presets to your right. Fill. Then I animated the colors so that they keep alternating. All of the colors that are alternating are relating to the final logo. So I just, because it has a gradient fill all around, so I just picked different colors there and animated the balls from the edge of the screen. I used the opacity, then drag it all to the center. So now from the center is where I did the trim part effects. Right. So the top part of the like the green parts, these parts of the animation, which is here. So simple adding a stroke as well all around this part before. Hold on a second here. I don't know if you can see the control tools, control stuff here. This is a line on one part of the logo. Then this is another line on this part. So I divided it into four. I divided the shape into two, but while I was using the trim part, I used four strokes on each part. This is one part, another part here and here, so that they all come out, individually. Let me just select the four of them. So this is the four strokes here. Hold on a second. So this is one stroke coming from here. This is another one coming from here. Then this is another one coming from here. So all on the shape, added trim part, then mask it on the shape as well. So after the circles get to the bottom, it looks like they're animating from the circle. But you can see it here clearly that it's just animating from the center of the circle, but from the shape itself. So immediately the circle gets covered, I just cut out the circle part at this point here. I just cut out the circles. These are the circles here, four of them. So I just cut out all the circles. Is that clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's clear.
All right. So then that about
Uh,
that.
someone had a question, Daniel.
Okay.
Can you shoot? Mm.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so thank you very much, my boss, for this. So I want to ask a question about how you achieve this the green part of this trim part. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can see, I don't know if anyone can see the design. If you can see it very well, you see that it's kind of forming like there's a type of gradient that is forming that is giving some kind of edge in the middle. I don't know if
Okay.
like
Get it.
edges in the middle and all of that. Yes, sir.
So I said before I started describing this animation that I didn't design the logo. All they sent me was a picture, which was, if you can check the layer files, you can see it's PSD. They sent me a PSD with a picture inside of it. So I just, removed the background and just dealt with it. You can see it's still PSD. It's not like it's a shape that I did in After Effects or Illustrator. This is directly from PSD, from Photoshop rather. So it's just the Photoshop file I used in the animation. I didn't design it. So the logo, this effect is not done in After Effects. It was done in Photoshop and saved as a smart object in Photoshop. So I just drag in the Photoshop file into the After Effects and I started animating on it. I don't know if you get.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. But you could easily get this in Illustrator, the gradients thing. Yeah. So that's all about the icon itself. Is it clear to everyone?
Yeah. It is.
Then the text part is simple opacity 0 to 100, 0 to 100. The logo starts from the center, then stops, get to the center. So while the text is animating with the opacity effect 0 to 100, 0 to 100, 0 to 100, the icon itself is sliding to the right to give it space to take its position. So it's as simple as that. Is it clear?
Yep.
All right. So um for the last animation, which is this, I can't actually find the project file, but the icon itself, I think, is still intact. Here, this is the icon itself. Let me see if I could get the video. So I played it before. Uh, So this is the video of the animation that I'm trying to manipulate. I actually replicated this one from a page I saw on Instagram. So I don't know the idea behind the logo itself, neither the audio or the animation. So I just replicated while I was still getting the hang of logo animation. So the box comes up to the center, then spread out, then comes back together, then forms this cross or X kind of shape. Then it turns to the right, to the left rather. Then the logo, the text comes out. If you can see clearly, there's a dot that drops right to the right here. It's dropping from the top. Then when it drops, it makes the L shape. The leads come out of the L shape, while the menu comes out from the icon itself. It's not that, smooth like that. I was still, getting a hang of Lego animation. So yeah, so here is it. So after the squares comes up in the, and bounce in the center, this animation is from the center part, started from the center part of the logo. So there's this thing called morphing. Yeah, is when shapes change from one shape to another. It could be done with match cuts lazily, and it could be done with path as well. That is, you could. This is a square. Yeah. Then other contents, rectangular path. Okay, hold on a second. Not this. All right, this is a rectangle. Then under parts, you could keyframe the parts. That is, you could keyframe what it looks like now, then go ahead to at one point or the other, and you could also edit the keyframe. That's so it goes from being a square to being a whatever shape that is. So that is path animation. It's the origin behind morphing. Sometimes you could just, copy the path keyframe from another shape and paste it here, but sometimes it doesn't work out fine. So there are so many headaches behind that. So that's why people use match cuts to do morphing most of the time. But here, this is what it looks like here. So I use the same idea here. It's been a while I did it, so I don't know how I happened to, morph a square into this complex shape. But here we have it. So it happened from being a square. You could see the path here. Yeah, which one is it? All right, yeah, this is the path here. So it came from being a square all to being a, being a cross with a box in at the center, and the box itself was animated on its own to be black. The box came from scale 0 to being a square that is wide open. So it's not actually transparent at the moment. It's just black on top of white that makes it look like it's transparent. So it's just a morphing technique I used here. You can see how the shape is forming into the final shape, frame by frame, from a square to this. So the animation started from being a square spread out, then came together. So at this coming together point is where this started, the morphing. Then at this point, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense.
All right. So after morphing into this shape, then it's okay. Let me go back to this. I don't have the project file complete anymore, so I will just try to explain it from here. So you could see that as the shape is coming down, the many word is revealing itself. It's simple as using this shape itself. I drew something over it, just like I'm using mask as well, but I used one mask on the menu here, and I use another one on the shape itself, so that the mask is moving with the menu, so that it's revealing the logo the way it's moving to the left. Also, the menu has each letter separated, MANY. So it was animating also from the right to the left. You could see it moving separately. You could see it moving separately here. So it just marks at that point. Then for these leads, for this lead part, you could see that the morphing also took place here. The box, this small dot dropped, then it's morphed into an I shape, then into an L shape. So I morphed it into this dot to I, then L. Then I also added a mask on the remaining letters of the, you could see, on the remaining letters of the leads. The letters are like coming out from the leads. So a simple masking on the leads, then I parented the marks to this letter itself. That's the morphing letter from dot to I to L. So then move towards the left aspect. So it reveals the whole leads itself. I believe, I don't know, is that clear? Somebody give me
Yeah,
sir. Is it clear to everybody? Any questions?
it's clear. Then.
None from me. Everything seems pretty much straightforward.
All right.
You
All right.
Sabi going, you Sabi explain. You don't break them down for us, boss.
I don't
Boss
do
now.
best. So there was something I also wanted to share at the end of this. There's this something I did that was yesterday or 2 days ago. Let me look for it so that I could share it. This right here. So this is this motion design I did for somebody that was 2 days ago. So there's this part here from here to this point. Yeah, I think something like here. So there's this falling. I don't want to restart this app. Let me see if I could share it. Hold on a second. So yeah, this is too noisy. Right. So from these parts here, there's this dropping effects that is very, very, it has this physics flow. Everything is calculated and all that. So I think a little insight on this can be done with the bounce effect, but it won't be as as accurate as this. Like every touch is being affected and all that as well. So
Yeah.
I was looking uh, Let me quickly restart this After Effects. Give me a second, please. So yeah, I'm opening up the project. So here is what I was trying to, like, fall into this squared space and let it drop, 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 drop. So the plugin is I don't know whether it's really a plugin, but it's like a composition kind of thing. Composition Newton 4. This is it here, Newton 4. It has a physics name, right? Because it makes it look realistic every drop. So what is as simple as creating your composition, then adding the shapes you want to drop. This is the shape I wanted to drop. It has to be a simple shape, like simple shape, just like the way it is here. At the beginning, that's what it was capable of doing, just simple shapes, square, box, triangle, whatever, nothing complex, no compound part or whatever. So here's how it was. Then you simply go to your composition, then Newton 4. This is it here. So it opens this window. I don't know if it will open in the screen I'm sharing. Let me check. Okay, it didn't open. Let me share that separately. Aladdin. It's not, let me see if I can show you on the screen. I don't know, can you see the Newton interface?
Yeah. Is this like a separate app or?
Once you click on the composition and Newton, it just pops up. So I think it's like a separate app, but it's still linked. It's still linked to After
like
Effects.
the way Element 3D pops up? That kind
Yeah,
of stuff.
exactly, something like that. Yeah, exactly. So these are all the shapes that I want to animate. So you could tweak. Okay, you select each of the shapes here from beginning to the end. Depend on the kind of animation you want on each of them, but I just want all of them to just fall in a scattered manner. So here's the type of animation. There's dormant, there's static, which will just keep it in shape. Like it won't move if you press the play button to just be like that. Yeah. Then there's this kinematic. Once you press it, it drops like this. You could also tweak the effects, the density, the friction, the bounciness, and all that. Then this is dynamic. Once you click play, it's just like scatters from each other, then bounces downwards. You can see every drop is calculated, and God, man, I just found it by mistake yesterday, and I'm like, wow. So here is the so basically two of them that is dancing like that. That is the kinematic and dynamic. They're all the same. They look alike. They have the same kind of effect. So if you want the bounciness, you can increase how bouncy it is. You could also edit the shape color of each of them. Then the angular velocity, angular damping, how much it rotates, how much it, all this is to your own preference. But what drops is basically the kinematic and dynamic. Now let me try to show you something. Yeah, look at this big box here. I'll keep it at the center. Yeah, then I'll set the type to static. Then the remaining ones are dynamic. Now watch how it happens. They literally, that static one remain in place and everything else drops around it. Oh God, it's so nice. I don't know who did this, but I'm happy for him. Like everything just saves you a whole lot of time in animating and all that. So like I said, it takes only a simple shape that is just square, circle, and all that. But what I was trying to achieve was something like this that has the text inside of it. So it wasn't possible for me. Wait, hold on, let's leave that first of all. So here's it. Then once you are done, you click on render at the top right here. All these other settings, maybe when you play around it, you can figure it out. Okay, there's this bottom wall, left wall, right wall. That creates like a wall between them. If I remove the left wall, when it's dropping, there won't be no restraint on the left part. It will easily jump out of the square. Look at it jumping out of here. You can see this purple line. Yeah, that is the frame it creates, like keep it to make it bounce in place. I can remove the right wall as well. Once it drops, it flies around. But I can't keep the top. I could only keep the top wall on if everything I want to animate are already in the center. But no, they are dropping from up. So I just kept it left and right wall so that everything drops right in the center, right? So then you could easily just click on render at this right hand side here, render. Then once you click on render, it renders and creates a composition of its own in your project panel. That is it right here. This is it. It creates its own composition on its own. Then this is how it happens. This is how it looks like here. It created its own composition. And if you now check like the position and all that stuff in between, you will notice that it literally has the animation keyframe every step of the way, like every step of the way. No matter how complex it bounces, everything is animated and it is crazy. So yeah, like I said, now I was trying to create something like this and it wasn't allowing me. Let me try to do that and let's see the error it gives me. This is gift card name 4. So this is like, let me use this one at the center here. So inside it's where the contents are. There's like group 1, group 2. The group 1 is the name of the channel and the down is the background color. So if I now try to like composition then Newton 4, yeah, it gives this warning of something, 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 something. So many warnings and all that is not so clear. And when you try to also like, you know, play it as well, the shapes scatter. Look, you can see it's already having some kind of distorted look here. You can see this black, you know, mask and all that around it. So what I just did was to just hide out the text group. Like if you like group something in, this actually came from Illustrator. I grouped them in Illustrator, then drag the Illustrator file here, then, you know, converted everything to shape. So inside the shape they have different layer. That is the text and the background. So I have to just hide the text layer. Then I do what I have to do with the Newton 4. Then when I was done, I rendered it. Then when I was not done, I now noticed that the shapes will actually keep everything inside the shape will still be intact. Then I could easily go back to this place and click on each of them and find out that the content are still in place. Then I could easily just turn on the text layer on top. If I did that before I use the new thing, it's going to like give a lot of errors and all that. So I just hid it, then use the background only. Then I just, you know, made it visible at this point. Let me use this center one that is showing here, the content, and so I just made this visible. You can see the menu more right now. But if I kept it visible and used the Newton, problem is going to happen. So if you have a complex shape like you that you want to use like that has so many things, so just keep the parents, keep the one that you think has that is carrying everything along, keep it visible. Then the rest, just keep it off. Then you can use the Newton stuff. Then when you are done, just, you know, come here to like make everything visible. Back. So let me share the link. I uploaded it already to Drive. Let me just share the link. Where is this guy? Newton 1.zip. Okay, copy. I hope that's clear with the Newton thing.
Yeah, it's clear. I
Yeah,
think
yeah, super cool. Super cool.
raise his hand.
It's not clear.
Mike raise his
I'm
hand.
using my own After Effects
Yeah,
now.
somebody is echoing or something. I'm not happy. I'm the only one hearing that. What did you say?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm saying that I'm checking my own After Effects now, and I'm not seeing that Newton stuff.
Of
I mean,
course, I
I can't.
downloaded it now. I downloaded it. That's why I'm trying to share the link now.
Okay.
It is like a plugin that you install, like
You,
video
do, you, do,
editing.
you don't have to install it. It's a plugin, but you don't have to install it. You just let me see if I can find the let me use this one. So here is it. Here's my, I believe you could see my screen. Then there's this download somewhere here. Yeah, so this is the Newton. So once you open it, you see a Newton folder here, right here. So we just copy it, Control C, right? Then you go to your where your After Effects is installed, program files, then Adobe, then I have 2022 and 2023. So I use both of them there. Click on it, you click on support files, then plugins right here. So you just paste it here. See it right here, Newton. So go to your After Effects directory, then support files, then plugin, paste the Newton folder inside that plugin. It just restart your app. Then I guess you should see it there.
Please, can you say that again, please?
You said what?
Please, can you go through that again? I mean, how you can install the new thing on your phone?
Okay, have you downloaded the file already?
No, I haven't. Yeah, but
It's just like 12 MB, it's not so much.
Oh, okay.
So
Does that
either
work?
ways,
Does that work for Mac that way too?
that's the problem. That's what I'm using. I don't know. I've done it in Mac, it's not working. So that's what I'm using. I don't know what's wrong with Mac. I've tried this on my Mac, it's not working. So I'm using Windows to do this thing. So it works easily on Windows. I don't know about Mac. I've restarted it over and over again, but it's not working. I don't know why. But on Windows, it happens very sweet and easy. But you could just copy it there. Maybe one day it's going to show up in your.
Okay, I would just I mean, I will just try my luck if it work.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
So just Adobe support files, then plugins. I believe everybody else has gotten this.
Yeah.
So I believe, is there any questions? I guess no question.
I don't know if Michael is still available. I saw him raise his hand a few minutes ago. Well, I don't know. Maybe
I think is this still here? Okay, yeah, it's
yeah,
still
he's
here.
still here. But maybe you've answered this question already.
Okay. Well, that's the end of this, and thank you for coming to my talk. My lesson.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was really helpful, actually. Thank you.
You're welcome, Benjamin.
All right.
I guess it's up to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you very much. It was quite an insightful session. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this. And since there are no questions, like I said earlier before we started, the CXT design community is planning to host a motion design competition towards the end of the year. And the grand prize is huge. Well, maybe not so huge for some of you, Sha, but I know it will go a long way. The competition is open to all motion designers, but you must be a member of the CXT design community. That's the only criterion, and it's very, very simple to meet. To become a member of the CXT community, you just need to take the CXT motion design course. And this will give you access to our community,
Oh,
design
oh,
resources,
oh,
and
sorry. Sorry to break you here. Out
okay,
of we that we have, I mean, we have been
yeah,
a
gurus.
member before, like not for motion, but I've taken Michael's course before. I went
On what?
to that on
What
designs,
course?
visual designs.
Visual design. Okay, just chat me up. I put my number in the chat box. Chat me up. I would confirm that for you.
All
That's my
right,
number in the chat box.
all right.
Yeah. So if you join, if you take the course, it will give you access to our community, design resources, community sessions like this, and also make you eligible, obviously, to participate in the motion design competition to stand a chance to win 1 million naira. Like I said, you can chat me up. Chat me up with the number. Chat me up with the number in the chat box, and I will go forward from there. So, any other question from anybody before we call it a day? If Michael, if you're still with us, help kindly confirm if you have a word or two or anything to say, or if anybody has a question. But I think okay. Oh, okay, Michael is driving. He's unable to talk. One question I had in mind I wanted to ask, but it's skipped. I think we went past there. Before we go, Daniel, that overloop, I really liked the animation. The one you did for overloop. So I was wondering, like, before you get started, which is normal. I know the goal would be to like tell a story or something with your design eventually. What was in your mind when you were doing that overloop, and how do you develop stories for logos, especially when you're not the one that created the logo? I don't know if it makes sense to you, or just use the loop as a case study. Basically, what were you trying to achieve? What did you have in your mind?
Well, for the overlook, they didn't really give me so much insight on the logo itself, how it came about, but it looks like an infinite loop to me. So
Okay. Okay.
I just basically if someone is trying to describe an infinite loop, how the person does his hands, to draw it and say infinity and all that thing. So I just had to just make it look like a very relatable kind of movement when someone's trying to
Okay.
describe an infinite thing. But if I was going to design a logo, definitely I'll use the logo idea that I used to design it to, come up with a story to describe which I did for the
That makes sense. Yeah.
the Udolu and
Yeah.
beauty store. Yeah.
That's why I specifically asked you for that overlook. And then secondly, what do you typically charge for? If I have a project like this that I want you to handle, what would you typically charge? Can you give us a range?
It's definitely between just 50K to 100K.
For now. Abi?
Yeah,
Because I
for
know
now.
you go
Because
down double the next.
as simple as logo animation is 5 seconds, 3 seconds, it could cost you your life, honestly.
Definitely.
Motion design is very like straightforward. You know where you're heading to and all that. But if you are trying to like animate small particles and oh god, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
All right, it's great. I think that will be all from me. Since nobody has any question, yeah, let's call it a day. I believe the logo, the plugin is free, Abby. Like it doesn't need any cracking and all of that. Okay, you clearly
It's
showed
it's,
the.
it's it's free, but you could pay me for it as well. I could just drop my details.
Oh yeah, no, God go bless you.
Nice one.
Thank you guys. Until the next time, we'll let you guys know when we have another session like this. Bye.
No problem.
Thank you. Mr. Petrifier, what are you looking for? Petrifier, what thing they look for? I don't know what the Petrifier they find by this time. If you see all this thing they didn't talk about now, I'm very sure you know it already. What did they find?
CXT, I greet you.